Hello and welcome. How are you doing, my friend? Next I'd like to show you that how to do this and how to set up this Honda Civic TDC point setup. TDC point setup, and this TDC means top, dead, center, position and piston 1. This is the right way. That there is situation that we need to set up this our engine in right position when we replace this timing belt, or if then we assemble this engine. And what are those 3 points what I am planning to next show to you? First point is this crankshaft pulley marks, that they are same and okay. This is first check what I will next show to you. And then second point is camshaft sprocket marks, they are same and okay. And then the last one is piston 1 is in this right position, that it is okay. And then when all of these 3 are in sum and all are okay, then we are in right TDC is okay. And there must be all of these 3 things must be okay. The sum must be 3, that all of these 3 positions are same. And then let's go to look at how to do that next. And we start in this crankshaft pulley marks. Okay, and now we are checking those crankshaft pulley marks, and they are actually quite difficult to find in this Honda Civic, but I will show those. And there are 2 markings, and first one is in this wheel, and it's quite easy to locate when we look that this pulley, this locking pin, what is the small part in here, when we check that area, because it is very near of that point, and it is that small hole in here, in that area. I take my pencil in this small cut in here. This is this wheel pulley, and next I have in here this touch up pencil base coat. This is car color, and I will do in there small white marking that we can see this place better, and it is just that small in here, this thing. And then I take this little bit extra paint away, and now we can maybe see this white better. It's just this one. Okay, maybe we can see it now better. It is in here, that point. Okay, there we have. There is this marking. Okay, and then we, and it is white. Now we can maybe see it. Then I take even a little bit more light that we can see, but this is really bad that Honda has made these markings so poorly. This is because this marking is so bad. And then we need to look this second markings, what is small arrow in here, and now I have already made in here a little bit cleaning, and there is small arrow in there, and I will also use my white color, and I will do in here this line, and this is now this marking point, and there we can see that there is this white arrow, and then that point, they must be in same. This is the thing, that one. Okay, now they looks fine. And now when I managed to insert those 2 things together, because now they are a little bit in wrong position, and I need to little bit rotate that my crankshaft, and it happens easily so that I take this crankshaft pulley feel, what is in here, and then when I insert this metallic pin in here, that small part in here, like in locking position, in that way, and then when I do so that I little bit, now I check that this white area is little bit like in upper one, and in here we can see that I need to little bit rotate that in upper one, and then those white markings, they are in same. Okay, let's do that. And I take my feel and I insert that in here, and then if we have car's spark plug away, it is more easier, but I think that I can little bit, it is actually moves quite easily, and then I check those my white markings, that how they are doing, and it looks that I need to little bit rotate those more, that then they are in same, because now this white marking is in here and this engine block markings in there, and a little bit more movement. Okay, and now I check, and still a little bit more movement. Okay. Okay, now they are almost even, a little bit more. Okay, and now they looks like, now they are in position. Let's look more. Now those two white markings, they are in same, and look that this locking pins place is in that way. It is not yet central, but almost. But look, it is not in central, and this is interesting. Okay, now this crankshaft pulley feel area, this area is okay, and then we can go to set up next place, what is this camshaft area. Okay, and let's go to look that next. Okay, and this is then our next target to set up, and here we have couple of information. First we need to look that feel, this camshaft, this feel, and there is symbol in here like up, and this up means that this area must be in this TDC, this setup in this up, and then there is two lines, one in here and one in here, what must be in just same line like in that one. And then when we look in this other side, we can see also in there those lines, and let's go to look also those lines, because they are really small and difficult to see, and I take a little bit better view. Okay, and now when we look in here inside, we can see very small lines in there, and this is not very easy to set up, because this Honda has made those markings so small, and like in some other car, like in Toyota, there are those markings more easy to see, but of course Honda is not the Toyota. And then let's go to look those markings, that how they are made, and I insert a little bit light in there, and maybe we can see something when we go to look those very closely, because they are really difficult to see, and this is the bad thing. And now we can see there are small markings just in there, and I take small stick that I can show this marking. Okay, and then I have stick that we can see this specific markings in there, because it was just in that small marking in there, just in this point, where this my sharp is now showing. Very small line in there. Extremely small. I can't believe that company has made so small line. But then this line must be in same plane like in that one. And then when we look in this other side, we can see also in there this small line in there. Where is this my pencil? What it takes contact in here? Just okay, but it is very difficult to see. But it is of course good that there are bigger lines in that area. These are bigger in here. And then remember, do not mix these two lines. These are our lines, but there are also some other lines like 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are different in here. But these two lines, and it's easy to notice that when there is this up symbol. And now this camshaft thing is okay. And then we have the third thing what we need to check, and it is inside in here. And first we need to investigate in these spark plugs that what of these is number 1. And it is easy to see that this number 1 cylinder position is always that one, and it is the nearest of this timing belt. And this is cylinder number 1. And now we need to only investigate that what is this cables, this number 1 cable. And let's do that next. Okay, and then this idea that how to find this Honda Civic cars cylinder 1, this spark plug cable, when we think that what is in these cables is the cylinder 1. And it is easy to analyze that it is the longest one of these spark plug cables, because when we compare these each others, they are smaller, and that means that this one is now the cylinder 1 spark plug cable, and there is interesting small tape where is number 1, and in that position there is number, is this number 3? Yeah, number 3 is that, and it goes in here. But this is our cable what we need to know that this is number 3, and then we continue. Okay, and then this number 3, when we know that this is our target cable, we need to next open this ignition coil cover, that part, and then we need to check that when this is number 1, that where this number 1 goes, it is just in here. It is this important to know that this is number 1, and it goes in here, and I take, and it is just that part in this corner, and this is our target, and I collect these all other 3 in here, and this is now our target, this number 1, and there is also interesting number 1 collect, and we need to then check that is this inside this rotor just showing this number 1 position. It is the final step, because then we know that it is, if this rotor is showing in that position, that piston 1 is in, what is in here, it is in right top position. And then I open these bolts, and I need 8mm socket. Okay, and here is this 8mm socket, and then when I take that I insert my tool in here, there is 1, 2 and 3, number 3 bolt is in here. I need to open these bolts in that way. Firstly, they are now open, and then these bolts, they are locking. This means that it is now open, and we can't take those bolts out. They are like, and then I open this next bolt. What is in here? And then I can use my fingers Okay, and actually I use this socket. It's easier to open. Then there is this last one, this last bolt what I need to open, and it is in this. Here we can see this place. Okay, sorry. It is in here, in that part in here, this part, and I open this bolt in. Let's look that closer. I open that bolt in here. Okay, now it's free. And then is this important thing that when I take this cover out, that is this rotor showing in that position. Now we need to insert our hand in here, that we remember that in this finger, and when this rotor is showing in here, everything is fine. Okay, and it is actually showing this rotor, and that means that now we are in this rotor position is in piston 1, and then we can do this final check, that we can number 4 check, that we check that is this our piston in this up position. It is also important. And in newer Honda engines, what are like 2010 models and 2015, we need to take this spark plug out, and then we need to look in here or measure that is there this piston in up position. And let's do that next. Okay, and here is this spark plug opening socket, and I open the spark plug in that way. A little bit rotate that my tool. And soon when I take this spark plug away, it is in here. Good, there is spark plug, and then we can look in that area in here, and we can check that what is this piston's location. And we can actually quite easily see in there inside when we have light, like in that one, we look in that hole, and we can see in there this piston. When we look, piston is in there, in down, there is this black area. And then when I insert this I have in here this my stick tool, and then when I drop that in here, and when it takes contact, like in here, in that way, I can notice that hey, there is now this piston, and I can take even longer stick, that I am sure that everything is fine. Okay, and there was this my old stick, and now I have even longer stick, what is like 1 inch and 2 centimeters longer, and then when I insert in here, I can see that it don't go deeper, and then when I hit in that way, I can see that hey, there is piston. And then if this piston, when we have this piston in wrong position, when we insert that our tool in there, and we can see that piston in this hole, then we can check that now we are in wrong position. And it's easy to check that when we take this cylinder 2 piston away, that where is this piston when it is in wrong position. And next I open also this piston number 2 position, that we can see that how we can notice that we have this 4th check wrong, like this piston number 1 is not in up position. And now I take, there is this second spark plug, and then when I check now this piston in number 2, and it is much lower, and now when I insert that in here, this my stick is in that position, and then when we check that number 1 position, it is in in so deep in here. And this is like in up position, this number 1, and this number 2 is in like more down position. And we can check easily. And then we can of course check that can we see this piston, because this is really interesting. And then I take my light, and in here we can see that, hey, there is this piston, black area in this hole, but in here, when we look, we can see that yes, there is something in deeper in their hole, but it is not in up. There is this, we can see that there is something in this hole, but in here we can see that, hey, there is this black material just in down. Okay, and now we can say that now we have made those 3 tests, and actually 4 tests, because this piston check was the final one, and now we are sure that this engine is this in TDC position, top dead center position. Okay, and thank you for watching that video, and then of course we continue.